All right, what are you supposed to do when you guys buy some items for resale and you find out a few of them might be counterfeit? Should you keep them? Should you destroy them? Should you try to resell them? Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to tell you about what I did when I bought a really large lot of items, and a couple of items in it were counterfeit. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you all about it right here in a second. All right, everybody, it's Andre. That's right, guys. I'll keep it short this time. I won't say a long version of my name, but I'll say Andre Reese.biz. All right, guys, not only do I do taxes, I do a whole bunch of other stuff. Not only do I do tax, I do accounting, bookkeeping. I also sell online, Amazon, eBay, and most importantly, I help individuals that are new to the business world or thinking about starting a business. You can book a consultation with me, book a session, and I'll guide you through the entire process to help you understand how the Internal Revenue Service code can benefit you and your business and help you save on taxes, most importantly. Here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. So this particular video here today I'm going to talk about is, and actually before I even go into that, let me just say this real quick. I invite you guys to stay on to the very, very end of the video. That way I can tell you about a business opportunity that exists that you can start if you haven't started one yet as it relates to this particular topic. All right, here we go. So let's talk about it. Here we go. Let's talk about counterfeit. In this particular case, we're going to talk about counterfeit DVDs. I'll go ahead and discuss, how can you spot that you've purchased, counterfeit DVDs, and what you should probably potentially do with counterfeit items if you do actually purchase. So what I do as a reseller is I oftentimes go out and buy lots. And in my life, I've sold, thousands and thousands and thousands. And I should say my retail reseller life, I've sold thousands and thousands and thousands of DVDs, either face-to-face, direct selling, or I've sold them online on eBay, for sure. And so one of the things I always try to do is I will acquire lots and I will pick through, get the cream off the top, and the rest of the items I will pawn off and get rid of, through a bulk sale of some sort, on Facebook Marketplace. And what I used to do before in the past is I used to go to the Comic Cons and I'd have all the DVDs in a bin, and I'd allow people to buy them for $1 each, and they were more than happy to take those off of my hands. So it was definitely very lucrative doing that, considering a lot of times I got the DVDs for about 2 or 3 cents, each on average. But one of the things that happens is when you do go out and decide to buy a lot of DVDs and you go through it, you have to be careful. You want to make sure that you are not purchasing counterfeit DVDs, and if you do go through and you're doing your process of going through scanning to see if they're worth anything at all, if you do identify items that are counterfeit, you want to make sure that you don't sell those. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I haven't even played one on TV recently, but if you look online, you do a Google search, you're generally going to find, now this may not apply everywhere, so you want to definitely do your research, but it doesn't appear that there's any consequences to the buyer if you actually purchase counterfeit items. Now, there are severe consequences to the seller of those counterfeit items, so you want to definitely not get caught on that side of the rainbow. And I know somebody that was selling counterfeit items at one point, and they actually got arrested, and they did some time in jail, and they had a huge fine that was multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars that they had to pay back, in restitution. So you definitely want to get caught on that side of selling items that are counterfeit, for sure. So let me just tell you guys real quick. So recently, like I said, I went out and I bought a fairly large lot of DVDs and CDs, and I went through them, and basically almost all of them were legitimate, which is what you generally expect. And occasionally, people will find DVDs along the way. They may buy a bootleg here, 1 or 2 or 3 of them here or there. So you just want to definitely be out on the lookout for those as you kind of go through and check. And so I'm going to kind of go through what you guys can do here to help yourself identify some fakes. So some of the more complicated fakes or some of the more well-done fakes are very difficult to determine, but a lot of the ones that are done locally, quickly, on a mass market basis, oftentimes don't have the same quality as you would find in a normal DVD. So they're definitely going to go ahead and stand out, for sure when it comes to going through your your lot that you may purchase. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you guys real quick. There's a number of DVDs that I bought. You can kind of take a look at them. When you look at the case on these DVDs here, you can kind of see that they look like they're inkjet printed. They're not very glossy, and they're all going to be shrink wrapped. They're not going to have any of the seals that you're going to typically find on a DVD if you bought it at Best Buys or whatever. But that's not necessarily a sign that it could be counterfeit. These are just kind of things that you're looking at initially on the DVD itself. And so if it appears to be inkjet printed, or it's kind of faded, it probably went through a scanner, and the printing is going to definitely be off compared to a regular DVD that you might buy in the store. You can kind of see here the color here is definitely kind of washed. I think almost everybody out there that I know, a lot of us folks, I don't do it at all. I never buy counterfeits knowingly, but I know a lot of folks out there, when it comes to Tyler Perry and his stuff, almost everybody's got something that's a bootleg. You can kind of take a look at the back, that particular CD there. You can kind of see how it's kind of washed out like it's been in the sun. If you take a look at this particular DVD here, this is one of my favorite movies, and this is the Professional with Leon in it. You can see how it definitely, this doesn't have the plastic on it. You can kind of see how it's washed off also as well. If you can continue looking at the other Tyler Perry flicks here, you can see that they're definitely faded. So that's really a tip off that you're going to find yourself dealing with a counterfeit DVD. So when you find these, you want to definitely go ahead and set them aside and not sell them. I don't want to see you guys get criminally prosecuted and have to do any time, but you want to definitely take every effort that you can to identify these. Now, if you make a mistake and you don't identify a particular DVD and it gets sold as a counterfeit, and it's counterfeit, you probably have some recourse in saying, hey, that's not a process that I use, or that's not what I normally do as a seller. Sell counterfeit items. One maybe slip through. I'm sorry. Deal with an attorney on that also as well. But on the front end, you want to make sure you take every effort and precaution that you can to examine your CDs and your DVDs to make sure that they're not counterfeit. And then, like I said, I'll go ahead and open up one of these right now, just let you guys kind of see what it looks like on the inside. I'm not going to open them all up because it's going to take a lot of time, but this will kind of give you a general idea of the plastic being taken off it there. This will give you kind of a general idea of what, it's DVD plastic is what it is, And so I'll go ahead and discard that, and I've got the DVD here. If you take a look inside of it, there's nothing generally over here on this side as far as information. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's counterfeit. And then you can take a look at the CD itself. It looks pretty legitimate, as far as how it's printed. Now, the one thing that you can that is kind of a giveaway when you have burnt CDs that are mass-produced at somebody's house is they have a tendency to be very, very dark and have a rainbow. The rainbow effect on the back is very, very dark. I don't have a DVD that's close by that's legitimate, but if you take a look at this, it's extremely dark, and it's going to be kind of a purplish color, for sure. That's always going to be a good sign that the particular DVD is burnt. If you take a look at the front cover of this DVD, it's done fairly well. But if you look at it at an angle, I don't know if you guys can see it. It looks like it's been pressed on. You can kind of see a square line there and another square line over there on that side. I don't know if you guys can see it. So they've taken and somehow shot this image that was part of a square onto a DVD. That's not what you typically would find in the manufacturing process. The whole entire thing would be completely covered instead of more or less pushing a square print onto the DVD. So that's kind of a dead giveaway to you guys right there that you're dealing with a counterfeit DVD. And if I go ahead and take out the cover itself and I pull that out of there, you can see up close right now that it's really washed out. It looks like it's basically printed. And then sometimes if you run these things, The way that they do them, they may not even have a UPC code on the back. And if you do run the UPC code, through your software, a lot of times it'll come up as some other movie. So those are all definitely dead giveaways for sure. You're dealing with, a counterfeit movie. And so these Tyler Perry movies are probably all going to display the same signs here. So they probably came from the same person that has produced them. So I'll go ahead and show you guys real quick this other DVD here, which is The Professional. This is unrelated. So this one here is a straight bootleg. It's easy to tell, because if you take a look on the inside of this here, they have this sheet, this insert. And if you pull it out, it's just basically a piece of paper that somebody printed on their printer, and they just put it on the inside. It's got the chapter. So they basically ran this through a copy machine, made a copy of it, folded it, and they put it inside of the DVD. The other thing that's a giveaway too, and this is obvious. I mean, this is a low quality, low end, copy. Is that this one doesn't even have a cover on it. So that it's just basically it's a DVD-R TDK, and you can see on the back, you can see how dark it is. So it's going to be near purple, and a lot of times you can kind of see the burn lines that are in it as well. This is all going to be a dead giveaway. So this is a poorly produced copy, and so this might be one of the ones you might buy off the street. And in the end, you're buying a fake DVD here, and there's no way to get around it. And you might have only paid $2, $3, $4, $5 for it, but in the end, it is what it is. And you never know what the quality of the actual movie that you're going to find on the DVD. I mean, you're not sure if it's going to be a pure digital copy, something that's going to be a low version. You're not sure if you're going to be buying something that potentially was shot inside of a theater with people walking around and throwing popcorn at the screen. That kind of stuff happens, all the time. So if you buy bootlegs, it is what it is. You do what you got to do. But this video here is really designed to help people like myself that are resellers, identify a particular bootleg. And I'll just go ahead and real quick, I'll open up one more of the Tyler Perry movies here that doesn't look like it's done that well. You can see how bad the coloring is on this one. And then I'll crack it open here real quick. So this is the same stuff. So this probably came from the same producer. It's going to have, you can see it's got the cover, it's got the writing on it up here on top. And if I change it at an angle, you can kind of see how it's right there. You can see it. You can see how it just basically printed in that zone. The rest of it was all empty. And if you flip it over on the backside, you're going to find that it's going to be really purpley. And that's going to be one of the signs that it's particularly burnt with a home unit. When they mass produce these in a factory and they actually burn them from a master, the DVDs and the CDs turn out different than when you just buy, a burnable CD, off the shelf and try to do the same thing at home and duplicate it. So that's it, guys. When it's all said and done, this will give you guys a few opportunities to help you identify and see what a potential DVD might look like if it is counterfeit. You don't want to get into the business of selling those, because in the end, it's going to cost the people in the studio jobs. And I'll tell you what, I went down not too long ago, down to Hollywood, maybe within the last 5 years, and I rode around down there. It's one of my favorite places to go, especially where all the studios are. And when you're down there, you can see, especially if you go to Universal Studios, you can see the infrastructure and all the effort they have to put into to make a production, and all the jobs that are related to that as well. So I'm not here trying to stand on the soapbox, tell you what's right or wrong, but I can see how these guys flip out when it comes to them having their movies copied, because there's so much behind those. Of course, people are getting rich, they're getting wealthy off of that as well, but there's a lot of infrastructure and there's a lot of jobs that go into making just a single production of a movie that's going to hit the theaters or go directly to DVD. And by selling counterfeits and fakes, it keeps the artists and people that are trying to produce those items from doing it, plain up. So do the right thing, I always say, and most importantly, if you ever have the opportunity to sell anything that's counterfeit, you know, or a fugazi, or or a fake, don't do it. You know, it'll save you in a long run, because you never want to end up having to deal with the legal side, the potential jail time when it comes to dealing with counterfeits. So these items here, I've already gone and listed a batch, you know, a long time ago. I just set these aside and I said one day I'm gonna do a YouTube video. And that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I basically did right now. So I'll go ahead and wrap everything up. If you guys have ever come across, you know, fake items, there are a lot of people out there sell purses and clothes, and you have an eye for those kind of things. You know, you may have sold or bought a lot before and purchased it, and it had a lot of fakes inside of it. If you guys have ever received those, you know, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys did. Did you guys throw them away? Did you guys sell them? Did you guys keep them for your own personal use to watch, you know, because you can't sell them anyway? I'd be definitely interested, you know, to hear that. And then if you guys can go ahead and make sure you guys subscribe to this video, I really appreciate that. Make sure you guys go ahead and hit the like button. It allows this video to get out to those that need to see it. And most importantly, I'm trying to get my subscribership up to 1,000. That way I can begin to monetize my channel. I can't do that without you. And by hitting the like button, it definitely helps get the video to other folks that may potentially like my channel as well. And as I promised, the business opportunity here that exists is you can always go on Facebook. You can always go on, you know, Macari or one of these OfferUp. There's somebody that's liquidating a collection of DVDs or CDs. People in general don't buy them as a whole, but people will buy individual ones. So if you can negotiate $20, $30, $40 for about 1,000 CDs sometimes, or DVDs, you can definitely pick through those CDs and find the ones that have the value and turn around and sell those on eBay. You know, that's definitely an opportunity to start a business. And then the other items that you can't sell, haul them down to the flea market and mark them 2 for $1, and you'll be surprised at the number of people that still buy DVDs, especially when the price is ridiculously low. You know, so go ahead and encourage you guys to start your business, and I'll go ahead and wrap this video up. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen, and I encourage you to stay away from selling anything that might be fugazi. I'll take care, guys. I'll catch you guys on the other side on the next video. Be safe. Peace.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end of this video. Visit me directly at andrereese.biz. 4 things to do: like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell. Stay safe, guys. Lift the glass to freedom. Stay woke and don't get TikTok. Take care. I will see you guys in the next video.